agents.
AI.
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 A lot of videos about AI are either too technical or too basic to understand. And this video is for everyone. That is the much reason why I made it, in order for everyone to understand, including beginners, of course. And I'm going to make sure that this is too simple to understand and very good to explain. Now, before we proceed, I believe you must have heard of some terms like workflows or AI agent. Now, this is not just all we are going to talk about. I'm going to be explaining everything step by step, and there are just 3 simple steps in order for you to understand all of these razzmatazz going on around. I believe you heard tools or tried tools like ChatGPT, Claude, Grok, or even Gemini. We are also going to be using these examples to understand what all of this have. And not just that, we are also going to be talking about what AI workflows is. We will see how AI works inside small apps and bigger automated systems called workflows. And not just that, the big one here, AI agent. We are also going to understand what AI agent is all through. And there are still other few times like RAG, React, and also agent. Don't worry, they should be scary, but I'm going to be making them simple for you to understand. So you want to grab a popcorn so we can get started understanding this, and let's go. Level 1, large language models or LLMs. What are they, by the way? Well, you've used tools like or tried tools like ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, or Grok. You see, all of these tools don't just respond because they have brains. These tools actually learn data, and all of this data they actually learn is just coming from any organization like healthcare or sports or any organization. And all of these things they learn is built inside of a brain called LLMs, right? So just to combine everything together like this, everything here, all of these apps, these AI apps, they're actually built under what we call LLM. And LLM, just think of it as the brain of all of these AI tools we simply use in today's world. So Grok has an LLM that actually helps it generate answers. And that's just it. So let's proceed to the next one. Say, for example, let's use Google. In this case, you type something on Google, and what actually happens next? You get the results, right? But in this case, what if I tell you that when you type something on Google, there's a brain behind Google that actually thinks about what you typed, and then it returns the answer. So what is between what you typed and the answer that Google gives you is called the LLM. That's just an example, right? So the middleman there is LLM. So in the real situation here, all of these applications we use like ChatGPT, Gemini, if you go to ChatGPT, for example, and you type the prompt, well, it doesn't just generate you the answer. There's actually what we call LLM, which is just simply the brain of these AI tools, right? And then it simply understands your prompt or whatever you typed, and then it returns back the answer to you. It's as simple as that. And this LLM, which you see here in this case, it's very, very critical to understand it perfectly. This LLM, again, just think of it as the brain of your computer, and it's giving a particular data to learn, right? And don't forget that this data can be any kind of data. It can be data about a school, it can be data about a company, it can be data about a whole country's population, it can be data in the past, it can be data from the Bible, it can be data from the Quran, it can be data from anywhere, because anytime you ask it questions, it tries to make sure that you answer, right? So all of those are examples of data. And in this case, when you actually ask it question based on the data it has been given, based on the data it has learned so far, to be able to return you only the answers, right? So for example, now it won't be able to actually say you should tell it all the files probably on your computer. It does not have access to it, right? Or let's say your order history from Uber does not have access to it, right? Or let's say your preferences, what you like, does not have access to all of those things, or even your real-time information, right? So in this case, LLMs are actually passive, right? That's what you need to understand. They do nothing until a human or system asks them something. Just like the way you use ChatGPT, Grok, Gemini, right? They do nothing until you go to ChatGPT and type something. That's what passive means, right? And just think of it as a calculator. The calculator does nothing by itself, right? And when you type 5 plus 5, it responds 10. That's the same thing with LLM. When you write an email, the LLM writes an email for you because that's what you want, right? And this LLM or large language model like ChatGPT, Claude, or Gemini, they don't start tasks by themselves. It waits for inputs like a prompt or an instruction, and then it generates the response, right? So that's what LLMs are. So tools like ChatGPT, Gemini, all of those, they are simply LLMs. Good. And they just have a big brain studying all of those data they have been trained on, and they just sit down there. It's until you come and then you ask questions. That's when it actually answers you. So that's what LLM is. Just think of it as it's having data and it's just dumped there until you ask questions. So that's it. So that's all about LLMs. So we move on to the next one, level 2, AI workflows. Now, instead of all of this data just sitting there, well, there's what we call AI workflows. So let's say we move on to ChatGPT and then I type something like, next time I am going to be talking about food, offer me something based on my previous order history. And then it tells you that it can't access your previous order history or data from Glovo, right? Because I told it I want my previous order history from Glovo. It does not know anything about it, right? And that's because it's just simply LLM, right? And LLM only have access to the data it is being trained on, right? So the data it's being trained on is not part of my data. It does not have my data, right? That's why it says it can't access my previous order history. And it's as simple as that. But this is where AI workflow comes in. Remember, now with this AI workflow, it allows you to simply connect another application like Glovo, for example, and then this LLM called ChatGPT is going to be able to reach out to this third-party application called Glovo, and then it's going to be able to read some few things there. It can read the recommendations, it can read my ratings, it can do multiple things. But the things that it can do is it can't pay for me or some more advanced tasks. It can only do think, it can only send suggestions, or it can only explain the menu items, or just some basic things, right? And then when it does all of those things, that's when it's be able to return back the answer for you. So this is just an example of a simple workflow. You give your LLM access to another third-party application, and in order for you to give it access to a third-party application, you simply need to use what we call an API from the application. So for example, Glovo API. We are going to be talking about all of this later, okay? But this is just how we are going to be connecting them later on. Okay, so that's just a simple workflow in this case. And then things I said you could do, it could send a suggestion or explain menu items on Glovo for you because you've given it access to Glovo, right? And then it can do other things like helping you pick a food or suggesting food based on what you tell it, right? But there'll be a problem with this LLM called ChatGPT or any other one you might be using, is that there are some things it can't do, even though you give it access to a third-party app like the Glovo we explained here. For example, it cannot check your past orders, or it can't place order for you, or it can't even track your delivery driver when it's time for the delivery, right? It can't do all of these things, right? And well, in this case, before we talk about the next option in this case, all of these procedures which I mentioned so far, where the LLM actually connects to a third-party application and then gets you an answer, this is simply called control logic, right? Okay, so there's a control, and you'll be the one to actually give ChatGPT that control, and then you can perform or tell it to perform a specific logic based on what you configured. Right. So to summarize this, to actually order food, track delivery, or check past orders, you need a workflow that connects the LLM like ChatGPT to other systems. And think of LLM as your smart brain. Like I said from the beginning, it can think, suggest, and explain. So you see these three parts. This is what LLMs can simply do. It can only think for you, right? It can suggest and then only explain. It cannot act or reason. Okay, that's it. So have those three things in mind: think, suggest, and explain. So with all of this, that is where a workflow comes in. Now the workflow is in the hands and feet of the system, and when you connect an LLM to it, it actually performs real actions in the application. Right. So let's take a look at this simple example here. Now there's an LLM here called ChatGPT, and then let's say this time around we want this LLM to actually see the nearest place where I could actually order a food, and we need to connect our Google map to this LLM so that it can actually find the nearest place for us, right? That's an example of a workflow. So you can see I'm adding two applications that it should connect to. Okay, and then let's say I can also add my WhatsApp, for example. And then when it's done finding the nearest place, it can simply send me a web message to my WhatsApp, right? That's just what the workflow is. So you can see I've connected three different applications here: Glovo, the Google Map, and also my WhatsApp, right? And to connect all of this, you need APIs from each of these different applications. We'll talk about what API is later, but by the way, it stands for Application Programming Interface. Okay, now that is understood, in simple terms or in summary, it's just simply connecting different applications through API. Okay, and then it can go to these different applications and then give you the answer that you want. That's just it, right? Workflow. Okay, it flows from one application to the other. Well, that's not all. In another term which you might hear is that RAG. And there is what we call RAG, and in full term it means Retriever Augmented Generation. And what this RAG actually does is that it actually thinks, check, and respond. Well, to understand this better, remember that ChatGPT, which is the LLM in this case, can only take your question and then answer it. And then if you give it access to a third-party application like Glovo, it can also access that application and help you think, recommend, and then suggest. Okay, but there may be one problem in this case, and the problem is that if it doesn't give you the actual answer that you want in this case, what you simply need to do is that you have to go back again and then tweak the question. And then when you tweak the question in this case, it has to try to give you maybe a much better answer that you actually want, right? And just workflows in this case, you can see workflow is actually stressful a little bit. You actually need to set up the applications which you simply need to connect to using what we call API. Okay, and then you need to tell this LLM to access each of these different applications here, right? And if the answer you want is not simply what you want in this case, you have to simply come back to this question again and then tweak it until you get the result you want. So you can see this is quite stressful in this case, but this is just simply workflows. You can connect as many apps as you want, and these LLMs access each of these apps and then does the basic things which I mentioned earlier. It can actually think about what you want, it can give you suggestions, and that's it. Okay, so when we are done with AI workflows, so the next one we'll probably talk about is actually called AI agent. Now, what's AI agent in this case? AI agent just covers up every problem we might probably want to face. Now, for this AI agent, in this case, if I bring up all of these applications, the AI workflows which we talked about, and then now the AI agent, this application which you see here, the LLM, and then these multiple apps here. One thing it can actually do for you when you connect an agent to this is to do all of the tasks on its own. It doesn't need you to connect to anything. It would actually help you reason. Okay, so let's talk about the first things that AI agents would do. They are just basically three methods. Okay, the first thing AI agents can do for you is to reason. That's it. Okay, so with AI agents, an agent can think about the problem before choosing what to do. Unlike LLM doesn't think about the problem. It just finds out the answer and then returns the it finds out the what you want and then it returns back an answer, right? But with agents, it thinks about it before it actually proceeds to the next step. It doesn't just follow a fixed recipe like AI workflows. It interprets goals, weighs alternatives, and make decisions based on context. So AI agents, very powerful. Now let's use the example of where we were trying to order on Glovo. So for this AI agent, don't forget that the first option is to reason. And let's say on Glovo application, we probably just want to order a food. But what AI agent can do is that it doesn't just gives us suggestion or just thinks about the food we bought and then returns it. With AI agent, it can even decide to look at the weather for you to see what food will probably be best for you, right? If the weather is probably hot at the moment, it can suggest you actually buy a much a cold food, maybe like ice cream, for example, right? It just gives you that best suggestion. It just helps you reason. And just think of AI agents as you watching this video right now, right? You have a brain. The way you would think is exactly the way AI agents would actually do. There is no difference. So that's just one thing you need to understand. So if it is raining right now, you cannot say you simply want to have something cold, right? You want something hot, right? So that's what AI agent do. It actually reasons for you in this case, right? And let's say, for example, you bought about 20 pizzas this week. You yourself, of course, you don't want to buy pizza again because you've bought it too many times. With AI agents, it can also reason for you, trying to see that you bought pizza too many times, and then maybe you can buy something different this time around. So that's just it. So reason. And then the next one an AI agent can do is to act. So AI agent does not just reason, it also acts. And what it does is that we understand that we can connect our LLM like ChatGPT to a Google map like what we have here, right? And they all, interact together. But with AI agents, they don't just interact. AI agent acts on your behalf. And what they can do, for example, with this Google map is that it actually helps you find the nearest location, just like it would work with AI workflows. But the advantage of AI agent is that it helps you check the ratings of, let's say, multiple restaurants around you and helps you find the best one. But when you are just simply connecting it with a workflow just give you the nearest restaurants and that's it. But with agent, it can actually act just like you as a human would do. You have to try to find the best location if you have multiple restaurants near you, right? So, and then it also looks at different things, just like we're talking about time as well. If you want to, look at the time you need to go eat on different restaurants, they could have different times. So it checks all of those things for you out. It also checks the rating, right? There might be multiple restaurants near you. It helps you check the ratings and see which one you can go. And then we've talked about the act in this case. So in summary, it can take several real actions in the world by using tools or APIs, not just tell you what to do, right? Just like AI workflows. AI workflows, it tell you what to do, right? And AI agents, it takes real world actions. It can interact with other systems on your behalf without you having to simply do anything. So in summary, the AI agent can actually just go forth and back to actually give you a final result. Unlike workflows just do the work once, right? But with AI agent, it can go back and forth until it gives you or finds the perfect result. So in summary, we've talked about reason. AI agents can actually reason for you. It can act for you on your behalf. And then the third thing is observe. Okay, so AI can actually observe. And sometimes some people call this observe, adapt, or iterate. And for the first one, reason, well, maybe you can call it think, right? AI agents can think or reason, act, and then observe. Okay, so that's all about AI agents in this case. And in this case, I'm just going to give you a recap of everything we've said so far. So in summary, this level 1, which we talked about LLM at first, just think of LLM as simply the brain of these AI apps you are using, like ChatGPT and so on. And it only has the information based on what AI is giving. And then based on that information, if you ask it any question, it will respond back to you, right? LLMs, just the brain of these AI tools we have been using. Okay, so the level 2, AI workflows. Now this AI workflows takes this LLM, this brain of these AI tools, and then it actually allows you to connect to other apps, right? So by connecting another app to this LLM, that's actually what makes a workflow, right? So you can connect multiple apps to you, and it can communicate to that third-party app. The LLM can communicate to Glovo here, for example, and then when it's done communicating, it can actually fetch you an answer. And that's for the level 2 here. For the level 3, AI workflows. For the level 3, AI agents. This AI agent, well, we just figure it out, and that's it, right? It does everything for you. It acts for you, just like you, woman, would do, right? It does everything for you, and that's just it. So we are just going to get started with AI workflow automation, right? Good. Now this AI workflow automation means connecting AI with software tools, so tasks can run automatically according to what you define. We've talked about AI workflow so far. It's just you connecting an LLM to other third-party applications like your Gmail, your WhatsApp, your delivery app on your phone, so it can communicate with it and then generate results for you, right? And the key idea here is that AI alone cannot generate answers, but with workflows, which in this case allows you to communicate with other apps, allows this AI to perform tasks across systems, right? And this is an example at the bottom here, where a customer could send you a message, for example, but since you've added a workflow, the AI would process the request, understands what the customer said, and then the workflow executes actions based on what your action is all about, or based on what you set up, and then it's going to deliver the result back to the customer. And that's just it. This is the only thing it can do. It cannot think about, or it cannot reason or act or observe, right? It does not observe the response, whether it's okay or not. It just does it as you created the workflow. And that's just basically the AI workflow right in this case. Then we are not done yet, just a few things. So these are just some typical automated tasks that you can do with AI workflow automation. You can respond to customer inquiries, process form submissions, send notifications or emails, or even generate reports or summaries, just with connecting AI, your LLM, to other applications. And then this workflow automation really matters in today's world, because organizations use AI workflows to improve speed and accuracy, build intelligent automated systems, and even connect different software tools automatically. So it's so powerful. And there are 4 steps to actually create an AI workflow automation. It's usually 4 steps. And these are the key components. Every AI workflow typically includes 4 parts or 4 steps. The first one is the trigger. The trigger is just the event that starts the workflow. We are going to see that in action in this case. So this is like an example here. So I have this example here. Okay, so the trigger here in this case, and you can see this is just a simple AI workflow and of it sending emails to customers, right? as you can see. And you can also see we have the LLM, in this case the GPT, the chat GPT, right? And then the structure, okay? And then at the end of everything, it's going to send a summary of email. Okay, so what this is all about is that it helps me summarize my email. That's just what it does. So on a Monday, it takes all the weekend emails. That's the second step here. It combines all the emails, and then it comes through all this process by analyzing the email. To analyze it, it needs a brain. It needs an LLM, and that's why we connected ChatGPT to it. And then it looks at the output, to make sure that the output is okay. And then after that, it formats the email content. So I have to do this manually, right? And then you can do this automatically as well. Then after all of that, you can send the summary of that email to me. That's just what it's all about. And this is what it can only do on it. So those are just simply the major steps here. And the popular AI workflow automation tools are Anything. So you may have heard of Anything or maybe not. So these are just tools that helps you create AI workflow automation. And you can even create an AI agent with Anything as well. And one interesting thing about Anything is that you can host it locally on your computer, okay? And some other things too, right? You can integrate APIs, which we'll talk about very soon, and some other things. The second popular tool is called Zapier. Now, Zapier is also an AI automation tool. It can help you with thousands of integrations. And well, if you just want something much simpler, you can just go with Zapier because it's best for beginners, right? And then the third option in this case is going to be Make or Make.com, formerly called Integroma. And Make.com is also another AI workflow automation. And then you can simply get to use it right in this case. So whichever one that you prefer. Again, these are the first steps of the AI workflow automation, right? The trigger, analyzing, logic, and then action. So first of all, if we take a look at what we have here, this is N8N website, right, in this case. And then you can scroll down and look at it. And this is just basically an example of how you are going to be creating your workflow in this case, right? And some other things. And if you scroll down, you can integrate over 50 apps, Excel, Discord, WhatsApp, Telegram, so many different apps, right, to create your AI workflows. And we also have this other one called Zapier, which I mentioned earlier. And also use Zapier, which is an AI automation tool. And that's it right there. So it's just basically you connecting different apps, and it's not as complex as you actually think in this case. So in different countries, one tool may be popular than another tool, right? So you have to understand that. So if you go to a specific country or a specific region, they may use one tool better than the other, right? So that's one thing you also need to understand about these different tools. And if you learn Anything, it doesn't mean you can't actually learn the other one. In fact, it will be more easier for you to actually learn other tools like Zapier or Make, right? And this is Make in this case, where you can actually get to use it as well. So these are all some of the AI tools that you can simply use. Okay, so we are going to get started with using Anything in this case. So the first thing you want to do now is to go to your browser and simply type n8n.io. So when you type n8n.io, you either down that. This is the tool that we are simply going to be using right in this case. Okay. When you type n8n.io, it takes you to this N8N website, as you are about to see on my screen right now. Okay, so this is N8N website, and it says ship AI workflows that survive in the wild. So you can create interesting AI workflows here, and I think we've had a little bit summary here. And one thing you need to do is before jumping to signing up, you can look at the products and some of these things here. The only thing I just want to focus on is sometimes you might not just understand some things. There's what we call docs, which means documentation. It's actually you learning how anything works on yourself. And if you go to docs, anything you probably stuck on learning, you can actually always find it here. And then instead of you trying to just be on your own, you can also join communities or like-minded people who are learning AI workflow automation. There are communities, you can ask questions and so on. Okay, I recommend you checking out Discord. You can click on the Discord, and then you may need to sign up if you don't have an account, and then that's it. There's also a blog where they talk about different problems or updates or changes and so on, so you can always come back to check it. What I'm going to be doing now, first of all, is to actually click on get started for free. Why not? Okay, so we're actually going to be creating an account on N10, and this is going to take you to a page where you need to put in your email. Now you can put in your personal mail, for example john@gmail.com. okay, that's totally fine. Just going to put this and click submit. So once you do this, a confirmation mail link will be sent to you. Okay, so it's about 6 numbers sent to you. So what you want to do is to check your mail. So check your mail. So in this case, I'm actually going to just check my mail right in this case to see if the message is delivered. And you can see this is simply the message here, which is being delivered. And this is the code right here. When you open your Gmail, you should be able to find that. So 200 770. And I'm just gonna come back here and then type that. So 200 770 and then click submit. So I'm done signing up, and we would need to put in our first name here. So you want to just put in your first name right in this case. So and then you want to put in a password you probably not forget, right? So I'm just going to put in a password. You want to put in your account name like so. Okay, and if you want them to always constantly send you emails for improvements or anything, you can check mark that. And you want to verify you are a human, so make sure you check mark that, and that's successful. And one thing about N10 is that it gives you 2 weeks free trial. Okay, and what if it ends after 2 weeks? Well, that could be a problem, right? Another way you can just escape it is by creating another account on N10, and then you can continue up, right? But you can also host it locally, which I'm going to show you later. All right, so let's just click on start free 14 days trial. Okay, so sometimes it's not going to move to the next step because sometimes when you put your account name, some people may already be using this name already. So you need to make sure that you are using something very unique. And if you try adding numbers, for example, that might just be better, and that's it. So that's one thing you need to keep in mind, okay? Because other people bear the same name you bear, right? So you want to make sure that you put numbers or just make it unique, and that's it. Okay, after that is done, it takes you to the next page here in this case, right, where you need to do the rest of the confirmation. And it says hi there AI engineer, and then answer these questions, blah blah blah. Okay, so it just loads up the question, and what you need to do now is to simply answer the questions. Now these questions are not personal. You can just choose it based on you can just put in some random answers there, right? That's totally fine. Okay, so it asks you size of your company. You can put whatever you want. Maybe select only me, that's fine. Click OK. I just put select some random options for me. Just click OK. Then you want to just make sure you answer all, and that's it. Okay, and if you want to invite some of your other colleagues, you can, but there's no need for that. So you can click skip, and then that's it. So it says your workspace is ready, and start automating. And below it, there's actually a YouTube video you can maybe watch just to see how anything looks in reality. So you might just want to quickly watch that if you have that time, and that's fine. It's just 20 minutes. So if you don't have that time, no worries. Just click on start automating, which I'm going to click on now. And this is going to take me to my N10 workspace. So this is where I'm going to be creating my workflow automation, and that's it. Okay, so this is just simply how to create an account on N10. And right in the next one, we are going to get started doing some practicals on it. Okay, so once it loads up this way, you can connect your apps later. Of course, we want to get started from scratch, so you can simply connect your applications later, and I'm just going to click right on that. Then it takes you to this next page. We of course want to start from scratch. You can click start from scratch right in this case. Okay, so this allows you to simply start learning from scratch. Okay, so this is all about the introduction and setting up, right? So continue right after all of this. Okay, and then you have the first step. To add a first step, you can build with AI. So that you cannot build with AI, but again, we'll get started right